Welcome to another edition of the Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here, as always. There's a little song that we sing. We all know the song. We all enjoy singing the song because it's one of those songs that just puts a smile on your face. So if you'd like to join me this morning with an annual rendition of one of our favorite songs, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Christian or Catholic, whether you're American or European, it doesn't matter. It's a universal song that we all love to sing. Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead, the witch is dead, ding dong. You know the words?
Yeah, the wicked witch is dead. Yeah.
The wicked witch is dead. Kansas City season, kaput, over, done. Not a single tweet from anybody who roots for the Kansas City Chiefs today. It is a wrap. Woo! Best coach in football, my ass. Let's just go through it real quickly, okay? So Patrick Mahomes, 10 consecutive passes that are either incomplete or intercepted.
Yep.
All right, that's a new career record for him. Tom Brady never did that. Let's talk about 9 drops in the game from this vaunted offense that people keep telling me, oh, wait till they all get back on the field. Wait till they're all healthy. Well, guess what? They're all back on the field. They're all healthy. 9 drops last night in a must-have-it game against the Houston Texans. But I really want to focus for a moment on the brain-dead decision by Andy Reid with just over 10 minutes to go in a tie game 10-10 and a 4th and 1 on your own 30. And the Chiefs defense had been dominating the second half. The Houston Texans didn't gain 5 yards on their first 3 possessions of the second half, and it was an amazing thing to watch. It was one of the most dominating defensive performances we've seen from any team in any quarter of football this year. And yet, in a tie game 10-10, with a 4th and 1 on your own 30 and your defense dominating, Andy Reid decides, I'm so desperate, and that's what this was. This was a move out of desperation. I got to save my season. He decides to go for it. And Patrick Mahomes does the best he can to evade the rush and the great Texans defense, and he throws the ball to Rashee Rice. And what does Rashee Rice do? Oopsie doopsie, can't hang on to the ball. And what you did there, if the Texans didn't gain a single yard, they obviously scored a touchdown, but if they didn't gain a single yard on that possession, it's a guaranteed 3. You have now, because of a horrendous coaching decision, put yourself down 3 points against the best defense in all football right now with an offense that couldn't get out of its own way. So let's blame the head coach.
Yep.
Andy Reid was terrible. And then, by the way, the next possession, when you're now down 7, but still plenty of time on the clock, and you've got, I think it was a 4th and 4, a little bit longer than the first 4th down, they decide to do what? To do it again. Stupidity on top of stupidity. And then, of course, Travis Kelce decides not just to drop the ball, but to hand the ball on a platter to the defensive back of the Houston Texans to give them another 3 points, and then the game is over because you're down 10. Obviously, the Texans milked the clock.
Yeah.
It was down to 30 seconds anyway. But what a calamity of errors. It was like watching the New York Jets coaching staff on the sideline. And I want to talk about Travis Kelce because Travis Kelce clearly is done. He's washed. I'm sorry to say it, Hall of Fame career. Travis Kelce, half the time looks disinterested. The other half of the time, when he gains 5 yards, he's pumping up his chest and he's, rah-rahing it, and he's in your face. He's a jackass, all right? And a guy who has lived for those moments, a guy that has bowed out his chest and flexed and all the things in everybody's face whenever anything goes well, was a no-show last night. Not just on the field. It's one thing when you stink on the field, and Travis Kelce, I think, had a single catch last night. One catch, game on the line, ball hits him in the hands, he gives the ball to the Texans defense, all right? His career ends on that play. It don't matter what he does the last couple games of the season, the Chiefs are done. And you would think a guy who has enjoyed a relationship with the media.
Big one.
You think a guy that has been feted by the media. You think a guy that has had his ass kissed from here to Kansas City and back by the media would at least have the backbone and the stones and the manly DNA to show up for a press conference after the game. But Travis Kelce, I hate to say this, I'm going to get in trouble for saying it. I probably shouldn't say it. I know better than to say it. Acted like a bitch.
Acted like a bitch. Like a bitch.
Like a hoe.
Damn, like a hoe.
Like a hoe.
Like a hoe.
What's better, hoe or bitch? I don't know which is better. Hoe probably plays better when written out than B-I-T-C-H, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say Travis Kelce's a hoe. Because for all the time you've spent enjoying a relationship with the ass-kissing, brown-nosing media, and you are part and parcel responsible for the Chiefs' season coming to an end without a trip to the playoffs, which has never happened in the Mahomes era, obviously, and you played a role in the outcome of that game, and then you duck the media afterwards, you ain't nothing but a hoe. And you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Tyrone knows that, right?
No, that's absolutely true.
That's
Don't
a
try.
fact.
Don't try. Yeah, you can't. Don't try. It's not worth it.
But, I mean, there's so many things in that game. The Texans' offense wasn't great yesterday. C.J. Stroud made a couple key third-down passes. He deserves credit for it. But the Kansas City Chiefs defense dominated the second half of that game. The Texans were 3 and out, and barely gained a yard prior to the touchdown drive. And maybe it's a hubris that the Chiefs have. Maybe it was a total, what I thought was a desperate play.
It was desperate.
In that, you know, your season's on the line. You went into the game a 500 football team, 6-6. And you're trying to salvage a season and stay eligible to maybe make it into the postseason. But that was just stupid. And I want to be clear. I said it was stupid when they did it.
Right, in real time.
And then to do it again, the next possession was stupider. Like, stupid on top of stupid doesn't make sense. And I know Andy Reid took some responsibility
He did.
after the game for it and acknowledged that what I'm saying is actually 100% accurate. But, man, how things have changed. I can tell you something else. For all the talk in Kansas City about how, you know, Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady, which, that's comical. He's a great quarterback. He's the best quarterback of this decade. He's not the greatest quarterback of all time. That's Tom Brady. And I don't like either one of them as a Jet fan, so I'm being very objective about this. You know what Tom Brady never did in his 30s? He never missed the playoffs, not once. Not a single year. Now, he didn't win Super Bowls every year, obviously, but Tom Brady in his 30s, not a single time missed the postseason. Patrick Mahomes is 30 and already not making the postseason. And let's say this, because Andy Reid deserves a lot of blame for what happened. Obviously, the drops. Obviously, the Kelce drops with an S. Yeah, Rashee Rice drops with an S. Noah Gray drops with an S. 9 drops in total. A total inability other than Mahomes to run the ball successfully with any regularity. Right? All that stuff's accurate.
All that's in there.
But let's also say what nobody wants to say. Patrick Mahomes played like crap. Patrick Mahomes, as great as he is, and he is fantastic, and his team absolutely let him down with dropping the ball in key spots. Patrick Mahomes has also not played well this year. He's had some moments, but Patrick Mahomes this year has not been the guy that Chiefs fans have come to adore. He has been average this year. I mean, look at his stats even last night. What, do you have 12 completions last night?
Yeah, I mean, 9 drops plays a role in that.
Fair enough, it does. But, I mean, 10 consecutive passes that are either incomplete or intercepted with your season on the line. A head coach with more championship game appearances than any coach in the history of football, panicking on the sideline. Like, the only guy that came with the goods was Steve Spagnuolo, and Chris Jones had a great game. Obviously, you lose your best cornerback early with the injury, but the reality is that the Kansas City Chiefs panicked. And because they panicked and because they lost the game, now they're playing out the string. But shame on you, Travis Kelce. If you want the media to be good to you, then when you play like crap, you should show up and take it. But he didn't. The witch is dead.
They have a bigger talent pool potentially, and they're going to give them anything it takes to potentially get this team back to a national championship. And if you want to set a legacy, you could maybe have one good year at Ole Miss and maybe potentially, 5 or 6 9-3 campaigns, but you're not going to make the playoff each and every season, or at least that's the mindset. You have a better path at LSU or a bigger school.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Now you're a 1 o'clock guy again, huh?
Well, I didn't know I have to appease you.
What do you mean appease me? I'm trying to get a read on you.
Well, that's it. I don't want you to get a read. I said.
Okay.
What are you? You're on me like flies on rice.
Well, I once watched you destroy an NFL team's season because you zagged so hard in the Best Bet segment.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Everyone has just been lying about this whole thing. Okay. Of the top 15 teams in the country, there are 4 total losses to unranked football teams. Miami has half of them.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Florida was thought to get Lane Kiffin, but they go and turn to Tulane head coach John Summerall. This is a solid hire, coach.
He's a tough-minded coach. I thought he would be a perfect fit at Auburn, just knowing he's from Alabama. But I think Florida got an outstanding coach. He will be a tough nut that knows how to win football games.
The Bowden Blitz, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. So many great moments in sports this weekend. We'll get to the Notre Dame crybabies in just a little bit. I promise you that. They're now attacking the ACC for supporting Miami, which is exactly what the ACC should have been doing and help getting Miami in. We'll get to that in a second. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish right now, they're kind of like Travis Kelce.
What do you mean?
Bunch of hoes.
Oh, also hoes.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a bit. There's another NFL game, though, that warrant, two to be exact, that warrant some conversation back and forth with me and Tyrone, because I don't know where you stand on. So it'll either be a healthy debate or we'll just be in total agreement with each other. So Baltimore-Pittsburgh, huge game. Winner of the game gets first place in the division, meaning in the playoff spot. The losers on the outside looking in have some work to do to get in. They're only going to get one team into the playoffs, most likely. Pittsburgh gets the win, but how did Pittsburgh win? Now, to be totally fair about it, Pittsburgh played probably their best game in a month. I give them credit for that.
They did.
Their defense came to play. Aaron Rodgers was very good. Warren was very good. So I give Pittsburgh credit that they did play well enough to win. But Baltimore has the ball. Baltimore's trailing by 5. And they come down the field, late fourth quarter, about 4 or so minutes to go. And Lamar Jackson finds Isaiah Likely in the end zone, boom, hits him with it. Isaiah Likely has a cornerback on him, but he holds the ball out, like arms stretched out from his body. 1 foot down, good. 2nd foot down, good. Almost the 3rd foot down, but you're in the end zone, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The rule has always been in our entire lifetimes, possession of the ball, 2 feet down, and as long as you don't fall down and lose control of the ball, that is called a touchdown. That we have never wavered on that. That if a receiver stands up, has 2 feet and possession, it is a touchdown. 100% of the time.
Always.
Except for yesterday. So exactly what happened. It gets reviewed because it's a scoring play, obviously. And they decide and determine that because he didn't get a 3rd foot down, that it's not a touchdown. What? The rule has always been 2 feet or another body part, forearm and knee, that kind of thing, is a touchdown. This is not the middle of the field, all right, where you have to then make a football move. There is no football move once you're in the end zone, and they take the touchdown off the board. Now, look, it cost the Ravens the game. We could all talk all day and night, rightfully so, that the Ravens didn't play well. You're right. That Lamar Jackson threw a couple bad picks. You're right. that Derrick Henry, while I did go over 1,000 yards, wasn't dominant. You're right. We could talk about all that all day. I have no problem with that narrative that the Ravens didn't play great. You're right. But in a game that's going to decide the division champion, and by proxy, who goes to the playoffs in a month, you cannot get that one wrong. And the fact that all the referees now are kind of like circling around each other and supporting the decision on the field, I think makes it worse. We all saw what happened. 1 foot down, 2nd foot down, possession, almost a 3rd foot down, and then the ball gets knocked out of his hands. That's a touchdown, no?
Always. It's a touchdown. And these referees this season in particular have been the worst I've ever seen. And now
I feel
it's
like we
time.
say that every year, but I'm with you.
The reason it's because it's too many game-altering plays. No one wants perfection from these accountants and plumbers, but we do need them to get the scoring plays correct.
And turnovers. Yeah, I'm with you on
they
that.
got to get that
And
right.
I'm watching the game, I'm like, and look, I don't wager, so I have no vested interest in the outcome of the game. I'm not a fan of either team. I like watching the Ravens play more. I think when they're playing their best football, they're one of the more entertaining teams, so I like being entertained. But I'm watching that game objectively, and I'm saying to myself, they just stole. And look, Steelers could have come down the field in theory and won the game. That could have happened.
Could have.
We'll never know. So I don't want to, discount the fact that it wasn't the last play of the game, and it guaranteed the determination of the end of the game. But it would have given them the lead.
Yeah.
With only a couple minutes left in the game. Now the Steelers defense did come on the field. They got the 3 and out. They did get the ball back. They got to midfield. And then, of course, Lamar gets sacked and the game ends. But for the life of me, you can't defend that. You can't suddenly tell me there's a new rule in the NFL which now requires 3 feet before they're going to give you a touchdown. Because how many plays have we seen where a guy gets 1-2, possession, and then is out of bounds? Right, without getting a 3rd foot in.
You see it all the time.
Should that not be a touchdown? So I thought that was crazy, and I thought the Ravens got screwed on that. And then the game that gamblers are talking about, which is interesting again, I don't gamble, but I understand the anger about the game. So the Raiders are getting, it was either 7.5 or 8.5. I know the spread was all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And the Raiders are down 10. And they've got the ball waning literally seconds of the game. All right? They get the ball around midfield. They spike the ball and stop the clock. About 20 seconds to go. Gamblers start getting pissed about that.
Yeah, it's 24-14 at that point.
Okay, so down by 10, but the spread, it's over a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was 7.5 to 8.5, depending on where you got it, okay? Then they complete a pass, tick-tock, tick-tock, with 4 seconds to go, no timeouts, mind you, in the middle of the field. And a defensive player kind of lays on top of the Raider wide receiver, and the refs throw the flag there because it was delay of game.
Delay of game, yeah.
I hate to tell you this, it's the right call. He did lay on top of him, has no impact on the outcome of the game, 4 seconds left, but it stops the clock. So then with 4 seconds on the clock, no timeouts left, down by 10, Pete Carroll decides to kick a field goal. A meaningless field goal. A field goal that doesn't do a damn thing but change whether or not you won money or not. And now everybody wants an investigation. I got some people telling me Pete Carroll did it as a favor to Raiders fans who might have bet on the Raiders. I got other people telling me that the referee should be investigated because the fix was in for calling the delayed game. It's like crazy to me.
It also put the game over as well.
Okay, so it also puts the game over if you're an over-under better.
Yeah.
This is the problem you're always going to have with legalized wagering. When people lose their money, and if you laid the 7.5, you lost your money, right?
Yeah.
You're going to think that the fix was in. Here's what nobody ever says, though. Hey, thank God they went for the field goal because I had money on the Raiders plus 7.5.
Right. No one else. They only talk about the losers, not the winners.
About the bad beat, not about the great win. And something else.
Backdoor cover. That's the backdoor cover.
I'm a compulsive gambler, so I don't gamble anymore. I haven't gambled in 7.5 years. If you ever take a team or lay points and you lay 7.5, you deserve to lose. You know you got to buy the point, you knuckleheads. The fix was not in, but it was crazy.
just can't quit Josh Allen. He's at a 16% chance. And then the Baltimore Ravens. Ooh, don't count Lamar out. The Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen. And then there's those Kansas City Chiefs. But I got to tell you, Joe, you see how we're going lower and lower on this list right here? I'm telling you, a nice little wild card down there. You plunk $100 back and get paid $1,429 back on Houston Texans.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You then had a sensational game with the Bears and the Eagles. Who knew how great the Bears were in terms of blowing out the Eagles and maybe having the NFC race go topsy-turvy. And then you also had the 2 NBA games. So it was a big win, I thought, for Amazon for their first ever really big Black Friday day. I think it's something we see them doing now forever on that Black Friday.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. Notre Dame fans, you got to stop your bitching. You got to stop. I'm sorry. We won 10 games in a row. So what? You got to stop. You did not get screwed. This is what happens when you have the hubris of not being in a conference. This is the downside of not being in a conference. And now the Notre Dame AD is going totally crazy. Quote, we were mystified by the actions of the ACC to attack their biggest business partner in football and a member conference in 24 sports. Quote, they have done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame. That's Vivacqua, the AD at Notre Dame. Well, what did the ACC conference do so wrong? The ACC conference fought for an ACC conference member school in Miami to get in. Right. Why did they fight for him? Because you played against Miami. When you decide who deserves to go in, and it's a legitimate debate and it's close, the very first thing you should look at, the fairest thing you should look at, regardless of when they played, is did they play head-to-head? If they did, who won? Notre Dame played head-to-head against Miami. I know it was 3 months ago, but it doesn't matter.
This season.
Miami beat them.
Right, head-to-head.
Period, stop. Now let's go to the second thing that people are yelling and screaming about. Well, Alabama's got a 3rd loss. Why did they get in? They get in for 2 reasons. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
Number 1, they're the ESPN conference, and that carries a lot of weight. Anyone that says it doesn't, you're wrong. But number 2, and this is going to be tough for Notre Dame fans to handle, you do not get penalized for making it to your conference championship game and then losing that game, nor should you. You're playing an extra game from almost everybody else. I think BYU could say they got screwed.
That one's a
because
much better
they
argument.
Got the extra loss where?
Right.
In the conference championship game.
To a top 4 team in the country.
Right. A team that's got a legitimate shot at winning a title. So if you ask me today, is there a single team that quote unquote got screwed? I would say yes, BYU. I would not say Notre Dame.
No, and the other part is Notre Dame's best win. If we're just going to talk about the sport, and who you play, their best win was USC.
And USC was average this year.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Alabama beat Georgia on the road.
Yep.
Top 4 team. then they lost in the rematch. They beat Vandy, they beat Missouri and Tennessee. All of those games, teams better than anybody Notre Dame beat.
I think they beat them in consecutive weeks,
Four straight weeks.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame fans have said, well, we only lost by 2. Well, if you're going to use that, Alabama only lost to Oklahoma, who's in by 2.
Yeah, Notre Dame had an argument. I'm not going to say you didn't have an argument based on winning 10 straight games. Of course, you had an argument. But as long as Miami had the same record, you should never have gotten in over Miami. I mean, that period stopped. And you can yell and scream all you want about how the ACC is screwing you, how,
we're partners, so you're screwed over your partner.
It's not about that. It's about, and let's be fair about it. Why should Miami get screwed? Because you mean a lot financially to the ACC in your other sports? You're not an ACC conference member in football. You chose not to be. You've always chosen to be all by yourself. And by the way, people should also pay attention to the separate news story that came out yesterday, which is that starting next year, there's an agreement amongst the NCAA for some reason I can't understand, that as long as Notre Dame in the rankings is 12th or better, they are guaranteed a spot in all future tournament play.
Well, they did that.
Why is that fair?
Well, it's not fair.
It's not. So you want your cake and you want to eat it too. Next year, you're guaranteed a spot because you have no conference if you're 12th or better. And there's other kind of language in that, which you can even be 13th or 14th and be guaranteed a spot. I don't want to get in the weeds too much on it in a short segment. But quit your bitching, A. You did not get screwed. If anybody got screwed, it was BYU. And Miami would have been screwed if they were not in. And then secondly, for you to decide out of spite that we're now not going to participate in a bowl game because it's not in the tournament, shame on you. That's all I need to know about Notre Dame football, the athletic director. I love Marcus Freeman, I do. But for Marcus Freeman to accept the fact that we're going to take our ball and go home and not participate in a bowl game sucks.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And they would have played BYU. That's a good football game.
So go beat BYU by 30.
And then you say,
and everybody can say, you know what? The committee got it wrong.
Right.
I'm good with that.
And I'll be honest. I think Notre Dame would have done well in this playoffs.
Maybe.
But I also don't think they earned their way into the playoffs.
Not against Miami.
So it doesn't matter what I think because on the field they didn't get it done.
And I'm with you. They're probably one of the 12 best teams. I know they are.
They are.
This isn't about whether or not they're one of the 12 best. But these are the rules that we all agreed to. And the fact, again, that you have decided to rob your kids of playing in another game and proving to the world how great you are, shame on you. That's home maneuvers right there. That's all that is.
Third hoe or second hoe?
Second hoe.
Second hoe?
Yeah, second hoe today. I hate that. We don't want to play. Ugh.
They have a bigger talent pool potentially, and they're going to give them anything it takes to potentially get this team back to a national championship. And if you want to set a legacy, you could maybe have one good year at Ole Miss and maybe potentially, 5 or 6 9-3 campaigns, but you're not going to make the playoff each and every season, or at least that's the mindset. You have a better path at LSU or a bigger school.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You're a 1 o'clock guy again, huh?
Well, I didn't know I have to appease you.
What do you mean appease me? I'm trying to get a read on you.
Well, that's it. I don't want you to get a read. I said.
Okay.
What are you? You're on me like flies on rice.
Well, I once watched you destroy an NFL team's season because you zagged so hard in the best bet segment.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Everyone has just been lying about this whole thing. Okay. Of the top 15 teams in the country, there are 4 total losses to unranked football teams. Miami has half of them.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Florida was thought to get Lane Kiffin, but they go and turn to Tulane head coach John Summerall. This is a solid hire, coach.
He's a tough-minded coach. I thought he would be a perfect fit at Auburn. just knowing he's from Alabama. But I think Florida got an outstanding coach. He will be a tough nut that knows how to win football games.
The Bowden Blitz, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. Real quick, top of your head, who's the AFC Offensive Player of the Week this week?
Off the top of my head?
Top of your head, just go. Top of your head.
It was Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Off the top of my head, he played well, threw the ball down the field.
Played pretty well.
Just off the top of my head.
Even ran for a touchdown.
Yeah,
they beat the Baltimore Ravens. They're now the leaders of the AFC North, so they're a playoff team as of right now.
Yeah.
Ravens on the outside looking in. Sure, why not Aaron Rodgers? Wrong, not Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you want to go to the Buffalo-Cincinnati game?
Yeah, Josh Allen played really well in the snow.
The great game to watch.
Yeah.
In the snow. Joe
Back and
Burrow
forth.
is awesome, obviously.
He's the real deal. And then the one-handed catch late, the one-handed touchdown where they should have called interference, another miss by the ref, but he called it anyway.
Yeah,
It was a great game.
That was a great game, and the Bills essentially knocked the Bengals out because the Bengals look like a team that could have run the table and maybe stolen a division title. Josh Allen was terrific, had the big run late. For the first down and
long run,
You could have said Josh Allen. I would have said okay, but not Josh Allen. You might have said Joe Burrow in the snow at Orchard Park.
Did turn it over, but it was tipped, so it wasn't really his fault.
The problem is that he had back-to-back interceptions. And by the way, memo to the guys doing the game, you got to stop saying that's his first interception of the season. He hasn't played
it's like his
since
third
September.
game. It's like his third game of the season.
But not Joe Burrow.
Well, what?
No, not Joe Burrow.
Wait.
No.
Wait, are you going to say it? Are you going to say it?
I might say it.
Are you going to say
I
it?
think I'm going to say it.
Say it.
An argument could be made. An argument could be made that the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, now to be fair, Justin Herbert plays tonight.
Yep.
All right? Justin Herbert plays tonight. All right? Against your Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
All right? But an argument could be made that the AFC Offensive Player of the Week award should go to Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur.
There's only one reason why you can't give it to him.
Because they lost?
Well, they did. Look, they lost to the worst team in football. Like, the idea is to win games.
Yeah.
They didn't lose because of their offense. That's the first time you could probably say that this year.
Yeah.
The offense was humming. He actually threw the ball down the field, had a couple nice touch passes, one to Njoku for the touchdown in the end zone. He played well. The only evidence you'd have if I was going to argue against it, all right, let's just play a devil's advocate, okay? Late in the game, you score a touchdown, all right? 2-point conversion.
To tie the game.
To tie the game and essentially force overtime, right? And the coach of the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, takes you off the field. Now, mind you, Shedeur Sanders threw for like 360 yards, had 4 total touchdowns.
Yeah, 3 passing, 1 rushing.
Right. He
was out of his mind.
He played great.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that your quarterback was the best player on your team yesterday, Myles Garrett got his 20th sack, okay? So he's 2 away from breaking the all-time record. Great. But you took the guy who had 4 touchdowns off the field with a 2-point conversion and no time left, essentially, to tie the game. Now, I know they love the Wildcat. I know they run it a lot, and they have run it a lot. Even throughout the now 3.5 games that Shedeur has been the quarterback. So this wasn't like out of the blue. They love the Wildcat. But the fact that you would take your starting quarterback who is having a dominant game. Now, I didn't argue it 3 weeks ago when he wasn't playing very well, and they have this Wildcat. It does work. They've scored touchdowns off of it. But in this particular case,
bad weather,
and your quarterback is balling out, that's not the time to go to a trick play. And it wasn't a normal Wildcat either.
No.
It was a reverse and a pitch.
A pitch reverse in the snow?
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds of that working in the best of times?
And obviously, the running back forgot he was supposed to.
Then it becomes just a comedy of errors.
The whole thing got foobarred.
Yeah.
But I'm watching, because Red Zone has it, boom, 2 points to tie the game. So I'm watching it. And even me, a guy that is not a Shedeur supporter and just kind of wants to see him earn it or not earn it on merit, I'm not just going to anoint him a great quarterback without seeing him play like a great quarterback. But even me, I'm sitting on my couch yelling at the TV, you can't take that guy out.
You can't. You can't.
360 yards, 4 touchdowns. Why in the world would you take him off the field in that spot?
And this is why there's people out there, and he keeps adding to it, that think he hates him. Because I also tell you this. If you want to say you don't know yet how good he's going to be, I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, I don't.
I feel very comfortable saying this. He's far better than Dylan Gabriel.
I'll give you that.
And how didn't he see it? And now it starts to be, you know what it is? You just don't like him personally. That's why.
There might be some of that. Now, I'm willing to at least, what I wasn't willing to buy into
before,
back in August and September, I'm willing to at least listen to that narrative. I have to be.
Because
he's clearly, just athletically, he's clearly so much better. And I wouldn't say poised yet. He holds on to the ball far too long, still for my liking, and takes bad sacks. But that's part of being a rookie quarterback. I'm going to give him some grace on that. I know it's the same bugaboo about him in college, but
it's a flaw in his game.
I've now seen 3.5 games with Shedeur Sanders. The offense has not been great up until yesterday. I've seen, 6 games, 5 games, whatever it was, with Dylan Gabriel. You cannot look at those two dudes and tell me at any point, based on watching them with your eyeballs, that Dylan Gabriel does anything better than Shedeur Sanders does. Now, I don't know about understanding playbook. I don't understand about any of the practice habits. I can't speak to that. But I can speak to watching not every snap of the Browns this year, but a lot of them. And I can tell you that those two guys in a one-on-one competition on any field in America, nobody could walk away saying Dylan Gabriel is better.
Right, and he kept doubling and tripling down on it, and it would have been nice to just give the kid, because he's a rookie, the ball and see, because that's what you do if you believe in the player.
Yeah, by the way, 2-point conversions are about 50-50, so no guarantee you make it.
Right, but just give him a shot.
Man, he had the hot hand. When you have a player that's in the quote-unquote zone, and he was, you don't take him out of the zone and call a trick Fugazi play. Again, if he was playing like crap, if you're not moving the ball down the field, okay, I get it. The play works.
If it's 10-8 and you're some crazy score and you need the 2, it's different. But he's rolling, and now you end up hurting your own credibility as a coach trying to save your job.
Well, he's got to be gone, right?
Yeah, you can't.
I know, to be fair to him, and I know a lot of people do like Stefanski. I'm assuming he'll get an offensive coordinator job, maybe even a head coaching job again, somewhere down the line. In fairness to him, they've never had a guaranteed bona fide Hall of Fame quarterback.
Of course not.
So I will be fair to Stefanski when looking just at his 1-loss record. But this is comical. Like, for all the people that have keep drilling it to me, you're wrong, Craig, you're wrong. He's got something against the kid. Well, I think you might be right.
At this point,
I think Shedeur Sanders is your AFC Player of the Week, and he got taken off the field with the game on the line, 1 play to overtime, or go home a loser against the worst team in football. And that's crazy to me.
Now, I want to throw him some bail. There is a conspiracy theory that there was a way to throw the play without throwing the play. You put the players in a position to kind of fail because you don't really want to win because you don't want to win too much. And that's the theory out there.
Well, they have 3 wins right now. Yeah. I think the Giants are right now the #1 pick in the draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct. So, and they're sitting there going, we're not 100% sure on this kid. There's some good quarterbacks. There's also a ton of good defensive players as well and offensive linemen, which they badly need. So there's some conspiracy that, don't throw the game, but you kind of finesse it enough to put him in a position to fail.
I hear that. Look, I get it. I understand why people would say that because you're trying to figure out why you could be that stupid in taking your hot quarterback out of the game when he's rolling, and he was rolling. That touchdown pass to get within 2, I mean, if that's an inch anywhere else, it's not completed.
Perfect ball placement.
It was just perfect. That had a great catch, to be fair.
Absolutely.
But I don't think coaches in the moment on the sideline think that way.
They're suggesting that it came from upstairs and kind of signaled down. This is the suggestion.
It's like the same, guys that are trying to tell me before the show that Pete Carroll, kicked the field goal purposely because he knew what the point spread was and wanted to do something good for Raiders fans.
Yeah.
I just, look, could it have happened? Sure. But in the moment on the sideline of an NFL game, I just don't think coaches are all that aware of that. But look, I'm going to admit that I could have been wrong about Shedeur. He's my AFC Player of the Week.
Just can't quit Josh Allen. He's at a 16% chance. And then the Baltimore Ravens. Ooh, don't count Lamar out. The Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen. And then there's those Kansas City Chiefs. But I got to tell you, Joe, you see how we're going lower and lower on this list right here? I'm telling you, a nice little wild card down there. You plunk $100 back and get paid $1,429 back on Houston Texans.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You then had a sensational game with the Bears and the Eagles. Who knew how great the Bears were in terms of blowing out the Eagles and having the NFC race go topsy-turvy? And then you also had the 2 NBA games. So it was a big win, I thought, for Amazon for their first ever really big Black Friday day. I think it's something you're going to see them doing now forever on that Black Friday.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Let's go around the league a little bit here around sports in the time we have remaining. The Bears-Green Bay Packer game, another game, lived up to expectations. I know everyone's talking about how Caleb brought the Bears down the field with a chance to tie it late, gets picked in the end zone. He's got DJ Moore wide open on about the 7-yard line and just never sees him. It's a walk-in touchdown, which probably would have, I don't think they would have gone for 2 there on the road. But think for a minute if you're the Chicago Bears. You go into that game at Lambeau, and you're the 1 seed in the NFC. You come out of that game in Lambeau with the loss, and now you're the 7 seed. No joke. They went from 1 to 7 based on losing that game. And the Packers, who are now first place in the division, are the 2 seed overall. That's how important that game was. And I'm going to tell you, the Packers offense has been weird all year. A lot of very young wide receivers, obviously. Jordan Love has not been great. And they've lost to teams at home that you'd never think they would have lost to this year, like the Carolina Panthers. But, man, when they're humming, they're fun to watch. And Jordan Love threw some balls yesterday, which reminded me of why Packers fans love him and also get driven crazy by him at the same time. But the Green Bay Packers are a problem, and I think the Bears are too.
They are.
I think the Bears, they're running the game, running the ball really well, the Chicago Bears are a team that's going to beat somebody in the first round of the playoffs on the road. That's going to happen.
And another plus for Caleb, he's become a very good play-action quarterback, and they run the ball well. So he still has things to work on, but he's become the best play-action quarterback by the numbers in the whole league.
Yep. Then you have to go to Indianapolis, where the Colts at one point this year were 8-1. Number 1 seed, this crazy year with Daniel Jones about to get a $200+ million contract, and they trade 2 first-round draft picks to get my man Sauce Gardner from the Jets. He goes out.
Calf injury,
which means Achilles at some point. And then Danny Jones on a broken leg.
Shouldn't have been out there in the first place.
I do it for Madino. Oh, here he comes, the hardest hitting safety in the league, Darren Sharper. But my name is Daniel Jones, and I do it for Madden. Well, overcompensating on the one leg. And you hate to see it, the non-contact Achilles tear, boom, Danny Jones is done for a full year. Meaning Daniel Jones ain't getting a big contract from anybody.
That cost him,
including the Colts.
Cost him millions of dollars.
Tyrone, that cost
millions of dollars.
That may have cost him $100+. Now he's made a lot of money. So let's not cry poverty.
No, it's not that. But he hasn't made that kind of money. That's life-changing, generational-changing money.
He was looking at, from the Colts, 4 years, 200, something like that.
Probably because they had
60 guaranteed.
And he had all the leverage because they traded their draft picks. They had no other way to acquire a quarterback.
That's right.
He had all the cards.
So not only does he go down, they lose again. And even though they're sitting in the last wild card spot right now, I don't know that the Colts win another game this year.
Doesn't look good. Tough schedule. And ESPN FPI has them with only
What does that stand for?
I forget what it's called.
Okay. It's just FPI?
Yeah, I forget what it stands for.
I wasn't putting you on the spot.
No, I forgot. I used to know. But the point is they think it only has a 30% chance of making the playoffs.
I hate those. Those are the dumbest things in the world.
I like them.
Like when they put out stats before the game, this team has a 43% chance to win. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They got a 50% chance to win, just like the other side. I hate that.
And look at that schedule. 30%'s about right. At the Seahawks, 49ers, Jags, at the Texans. That don't look good.
They're not winning another game.
That looks about 30%.
Could you imagine being 8-1 and winding up 8-9? The only team that I can remember that did something similar to that were the Rich Kotite Eagles. When they were 7-2, he asked for a contract extension.
And they lost out.
They didn't just lose out. Then he went to New York and lost 13 more.
No. They brought him back. They brought him back. He lost a bunch. Then the Jets, for some reason, immediately hired him. And then he went 1-15 with them.
All right, so look, the Colts are done. Texans are the hottest team in football right now and have the best defense in all football. So keep an eye on that for a second.
That's a football power index, is FPI.
Football power index?
Yeah, they use all the numbers.
You're not a math
and they come
guy.
up with the thing.
Don't do that. Don't become like some analytical math guy.
First of all, I've been a math guy. I just also have a personality.
No,
most math guys don't have personality. I happen to have both. So you should just be
use your eyes. You don't need to come up with some fakakta FPI.
I like to see the numbers. Your
Colts
Ravens
are not making the playoffs.
Your Ravens down to 29%.
Watch this. 100%. Colts do not make the playoffs. 100%. The Chiefs do not make the playoffs.
They're 16%.
No, they're 0%.
16%
The Chiefs cannot make the playoffs. The Colts will not make the playoffs with the remaining 4 games on their schedule. Like, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, in Major League Baseball yesterday, only one guy got into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That guy was not Don Mattingly.
No.
That guy was not Roger Clemens.
Nope.
That guy was not Barry Bonds.
Nope.
But the guy they walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded to pitch to did get in.
Yeah.
Jeff Kent. And I'm one of these guys like, do I think that Jeff Kent is a Hall of Famer? No, I do not. But he's in the Hall of Fame, so congratulations to Jeff Kent. But at some point, can we please get this right? You can't have the guy that benefited from pitchers walking Barry Bonds with the bases loaded because they'd rather pitch to you, get into the Hall of Fame, and not put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. You cannot keep Roger Clemens and his 7 Cy Young Awards out of the Hall of Fame. Now, could you debate Mattingly? Yes. It's a fair debate. Yankee fans feel like 84 to 89, I think of the years, I have those right. 5 best years of his career.
He was as good as anybody.
Got an MVP, got a batting title. Yep. Was not even arguably top 3 in the sport for a 5-year span. Obviously, the back problems, long-term, not a stat compiler, so it doesn't have the raw numbers to get in. But if you watch baseball in the 80s, there was Tony Gwynn, there was Don Mattingly, there was Kirby Puckett. There was, the guys.
The Hawk, Andre Dawson.
Yeah, so again, you could argue it. He only got like 20% of the vote. So Don Mattingly, sadly, is never going to get in unless he gets in after he dies and someone feels bad for his family. Sadly, Don Mattingly is never going to get in.
No, I mean,
that's how it goes.
That's a cold game. During Jeff Kent's prime, by the way, he had more chances for RBIs than anyone else in the sport during that time because of Barry Bonds. And now he's in the Hall, and as you said, Barry not.
Barry Bonds will get in at some point when the current writers die.
But it'll probably be like Pete Rose.
Isn't it funny, though, how we had 3 or 4 year period where society got so woke And the only place that didn't really get woke were the Baseball Writers Association of America. They were like, we're not putting a steroid user in the Hall of Fame.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Even though I benefited from it.
Doesn't matter.
I got my job in large part because of those steroids, but I'm against them.
Coming up, tonight's game, Eagles-Chargers will be all over. Now, Tyrone might even have a pick on it, but after this weekend's picks, you may not want to follow him. Right after this.
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that. Because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as always. We finally have some video evidence of why Travis Kelce blew off the postgame press conference yesterday.
We do?
And hid like a hoe, which is crazy because the dude loves the microphone, right? Has enjoyed the microphone and the media's kissing his ass for a long time. But after an embarrassingly bad performance and the drop that led to an interception that essentially ended the game and the Kansas City Chiefs season, he was a no-show to the media. Oh, he was crying maybe. He was in his feelings. He was very upset. I don't know. But we have video. This was Travis Kelce after the game on an auxiliary field practicing.
Oh, putting in the work.
Yeah, putting in the work right there. Now watch and see if putting in the work. Does he make the catch in practice? Here's the throw, and yeah, no, he just has a tough time catching the ball. That Travis Kelce.
I mean, that's just...
It's almost like he has no hands.
Yeah, no hands at all. But at least that one didn't go to the other team like yesterday.
That one did not get intercepted.
He did one earlier get the Eagles,
come
too.
on, Travis Kelce. If you want to enjoy the spoils of good times with the media, and you want to use the media to promote your restaurant and all the things
your
that you do,
podcast and everything else,
then you have to show up in bad times too. That tells you who a guy really is.
Absolutely.
When a guy doesn't show up after a bad game, then you know a lot about what type of guy that is. Mahomes was there.
Of course.
Andy Reid was there.
Of course.
They showed up. They took the bullets. Yeah. Travis Kelce, a no-show. So, I mean, if I was in the media, I would boycott him. I would never interview him again. Like, if he has 5 touchdowns next week, I wouldn't talk to him. Well, that's me.
And then what he'll do is he'll wait for his brother, who loves him, and then he'll say, hey.
And he'll say, oh, it was so hard. It was so tough. I disappointed my guys. No. You weren't there for your guys afterwards. People want to talk to you when you drop a ball and cause an interception. Sorry, not sorry. You know, I hate when guys get hurt playing football. It happens. It's football. But these guys sometimes, control what I do in the show. Both Tyrone and Ethan and Ryan downstairs. Zach Ertz
Yeah, a guy who's a favorite of mine.
Yeah, former Eagle, Washington Commander.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz got cheap shotted yesterday, trying to make a catch. Mariota threw the ball kind of like no man's land. Had to go up to get it. It's they call that a what do they call that kind of throw? A hospital throw. They call that a hospital throw. Well, look at the injury. He got hit straight on the knee.
And look at that leg.
Yeah.
That leg and.
Yeah.
I mean.
So he tore the ACL?
I think there's more, but the ACL's what we know.
I'm assuming there's going to be much more damage to the knee there. And no joke, and I'm saddened by this, that may have ended Zach Ertz's career.
No, literally.
Because at his age and the miles he's already got on his body, that hit, which was unnecessarily low.
Completely unnecessary.
Right into the knee, shoved the knee backwards.
It's a dirty play.
Yeah.
Flat out.
So prayers out there for Zach Ertz's recovery from that gruesome injury. And that brings us to tonight.
Yeah.
What was going to be a must-win game for the Eagles became, it'd be good to win because the Cowboys, of course, lost last week. But you still have some bad feelings there in that Philly locker room. And although it's not must-win anymore because the division's now locked up because of the Cowboy loss, you guys need, whether you win or lose it, you need a good game from your offense.
Yeah, they need to play better on offense. No Lane Johnson again. And historically, the offense has not played well when Lane Johnson is out historically throughout his future Hall of Fame career. And now your best defensive tackle, who hasn't played well, we find out why, had a procedure on both shoulders.
Yeah.
And now he's out for this game
the
as
way
well.
I read it, talking about Jalen Carter, what I read about him was that it wasn't so much a procedure as you just got two shots.
Yeah.
And like they didn't operate on him.
They went in there. Apparently they put a little thing in the look. Apparently it was a lot of information, but it's bothering him, and it's why he hasn't been as dominant. But now he's out.
Schnikes. So this is a team that gave up 900 yards on the ground to the Bears.
You had a guy with no shoulders. You just saw no arms. You had a defensive tackle playing with no shoulders.
All right, so maybe the Cowboys can win the division still.
No, they can't.
They
can lose to Buffalo.
If the Chargers score 30 against the Eagles, that'll be a storyline for us for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the biggest storyline, at least going into the game, for me is the Eagles' offense.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles' offense has been broken.
Horrible.
So we need to see the Eagles' offense look something similar to what we saw last year. And then if we then want to focus on the Eagles' defense, I want to see their run defense. Because the Chicago Bears had no respect at all for your front line, your front seven, from a run standpoint.
Yeah, I don't think
the Chargers throw it better than they run it. With Herbert, of course.
But they prefer, if Harbaugh wants to run the ball, he wants to run the ball.
And if I'm them, I run the ball.
Absolutely.
Even though Herbert's my best player, I know that Eagle defense can't stop the run. I'm going to challenge them until they do.
Also, Herbert's playing with a broken hand. Not his throwing hand, but his other hand is broken. That would be more reason to try to hand the ball off and not put him in harm's way.
So what's the spread in tonight's game?
Eagles -2.5.
Eagles on the road?
On the road,
-2.5.
And the over-under is 41.5. I like the Eagles in a low-scoring game to cover the 2.5.
Eagles in the under, you're saying?
Yeah, Eagles in the under is kind of what I like. I'm looking at it like a 20-17 type of game.
Shh. That's just fandom. That's desperate fandom. That's all that is. Have yourselves a great day. Thank you for watching. Check out all the clips. Check out the podcast. Download, subscribe, and thank you for watching The Craig Carton Show. Have a blessed day.
They have a bigger talent pool potentially, and they're going to give them anything it takes to potentially get this team back to a national championship. And if you want to set a legacy, you could maybe have one good year at Ole Miss and maybe potentially, 5 or 6 9-3 campaigns, but you're not going to make the playoff each and every season, or at least that's the mindset. You have a better path at LSU or a bigger school.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You're a 1 o'clock guy again, huh?
Well, I didn't know I have to appease you.
What do you mean appease me? I'm trying to get a read on you.
Well, that's it. I don't want you to get a read. I said.
Okay.
What are you? You're on me like flies on rice.
Well, I once watched you destroy an NFL team's season because you zagged so hard in the Best Bet segment.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Everyone has just been lying about this whole thing. Okay. Of the top 15 teams in the country, there are 4 total losses to unranked football teams. Miami has half of them.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Florida was thought to get Lane Kiffin, but they go and turn to Tulane head coach John Summerall. This is a solid hire, coach.
He's a tough-minded coach. I thought he would be a perfect fit at Auburn, just knowing he's from Alabama. But I think Florida got an outstanding coach. He will be a tough nut that knows how to win football games.
The Bowden Blitz, only on SportsGrid.